Welcome to the Perrysburg Podcast, episode 78. I'm your host and Perrysburg resident, Kim Newlove. The Perrysburg Podcast is an informational podcast for prospective, new, and current Perrysburg, Ohio residents. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. Our website is perrysburgpodcast.com. Today's episode kicks off a 4-part medical series. Part 1 is today. In just a few minutes, I'll share the only interview in the entire series. It's my conversation with Prime IV Hydration and Wellness owner Shannon Kazel and her lead nurse, Chelsea Hansberger. Part 2 will be in the spring and will be covering healthcare for humans. Part 3 will be in the summer and cover pets. We'll talk about veterinarians, boarding, grooming, doggy daycare, and other pet topics. And finally, Part 4 will be about pharmacies. That will be in October because October is American Pharmacist Month. I'm saving the best for last because I'm an Ohio pharmacist. There's a little pride there, so we're saving the best for last, my opinion. The purpose of this series is to be a resource. Who doesn't need resources and tools no matter what phase you're in? Whether you're a prospective Perrysburg resident looking to move here, somebody who's brand new here, maybe are coming up on your annual well check and you'd like some advice, or maybe you're a current Perrysburg, Ohio resident and your OBGYN just moved away and you need a new one. I know it's hard enough to find a provider or a pharmacy that's right for you when you move to a new town, but what if you already live here or you've been here for a while? My hope is that this medical series here on the Perrysburg Podcast will give you food for thought as you consider referrals from family and friends and other providers, neighbors, social media, your medical insurance, and Google. I'm trying to be a resource. I'll also give you some common sense tips like knowing the difference between social proof and the facts that matter. Let's get started. Today, the focus is on Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. Prime IV is located on the west side of Perrysburg in the same shopping center as Walt Churchill's Market. The address for your GPS is 26597 North Dixie Highway, Perrysburg, Ohio, and the website is primevhydration.com. Like I said before, this is the only interview in the 4-part series. I heard about Prime IV Hydration and Wellness at the Homecoming Festival in September 2024, and they inspired this series. I was curious about Prime IV, so I went over, I had a tour, and then I invited Shannon to be on the podcast. Today's interview is with Prime IV's owner, Shannon Kazel, and her lead nurse, Chelsea Hansberger. During our interview, we talk about what's on the menu, so to speak, at Prime IV, like their hydration drips, their intramuscular injections, and their new weight loss program. Now, before I roll the interview, I would like to disclose that I do not work for Prime IV Hydration and Wellness, and this is not a sponsored episode. I have not been compensated in any way for publishing this episode. Also, since I am an Ohio licensed pharmacist, I want to put out a short medical disclaimer. The information in this podcast episode is for educational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Please consult a healthcare professional individually for any health concerns that you may have. That ends my disclaimer. Now, without further ado, here's my conversation with Prime IV's Shannon and Chelsea. Shannon, I understand that you live here in Perrysburg.
I do. So I have been here for 11 years now.
Awesome. Well, it's always good to talk to another Perrysburg resident.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in the city or the township?
We are in the city.
Rock on, me too.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, what made you want to open Prime IV Hydration and Wellness?
Well, as we get older, we kind of go through some life changes and probably hit my midlife crisis time, was in a dead-end job, just did not want to be there. And one day a career coach reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to change my life, and I answered that call. So here I am. He was really my therapist probably for a couple months, talking to him, and he was getting to know me, my likes, dislikes, all that stuff, and just my real life, like what I like to do. And yeah, he started giving me options for franchises and everything because he totally made me believe I could run my own business with everything else I've done and Prime IV was one of them. So here I am. We opened it a year and a half later.
Awesome. You've been here a year and a half then?
No, the process started a year and a half ago.
Okay.
We opened August 6th of 2024.
Gotcha. I met you a month after that.
Yes.
At the Perrysburg Homecoming Festival.
Yes, in September.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, oh, what is that? And I'm so glad that we met because
I know.
I'm a curious person and you satisfied my curiosity. And now I get to share your story with the folks of Perrysburg.
Yep.
Now, you're not a medical person by training, are you?
I am not. But man, did I have to learn some laws and all that just to get this up and going. And, I'm more the business side of it. I've done from retail management, just managing offices, that kind of stuff, budgets, general ledger, all that kind of stuff. So that was one of those things, the career coach is like, you literally have done everything to run your own business. So let's just put it together and do it. Like, okay, I did.
Well, congratulations. You are brave to start a new business, a completely different industry than what you were in before.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
From business to medicine, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm a pharmacist by training, so of course I was curious about this place. But as a non-medical person, how are you finding running this place?
I love it. Obviously, we have challenges just in business-wise, day-to-day. We're in sales and all that, but it's a very relaxing. We've got a great group of RNs that work for, us here. And I love it. I love helping people and to see them walk out with smiles on their face, sending the reviews, all that kind of stuff, recommending their friends, family. It's great.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I'm a big believer in transformation stories. You take somebody who is not well and you help them become well. And that is a story worth sharing. Would you like to share a personal story? You don't have to name names, of course, HIPAA and all that. But yeah, would you like to share a personal story of somebody that you helped?
Yes, one sticks out, always will stick out. She came in, she was an older lady. Her son brought her in. They just were looking for a place. I think it was a Sunday. We were open. None of the other area was open as far as drip places. She was very dehydrated. Like her son was walking her in the door. She could barely walk, was in a lot of pain, just couldn't eat. She had some back issues going on. We ended up, doing the consult and everything and walked her through everything. She ended up getting the Myers drip. By the time she was done with that drip, she about got herself out of that chair, was walking and was just amazed. Like, she's like, where am I? What is this place? She's like, to her son, like, oh my God, I can walk kind of thing. And we were all like tearing up at that point. So it was real, she signed up for a membership right then. And we saw her probably every other week and then weekly after that. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story. That's really cool. That reminds me of back in the day when I was in clinical practice, sometimes we would have an elderly person with a urinary tract infection and they were dehydrated and they had an altered mental status because of it. They were just confused. So what you're describing to me really resonates.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's not many places you can go that's not an emergency room and just get rehydrated.
Right,
so
right.
This is filling a gap for some people.
It is.
I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness is a franchise, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I had never seen this before it came to Perrysburg. Are you the only one in the area that does this?
I am the only franchise here in the area for Prime IV. So I think the closest is up in Shelby Township, past Detroit. And then Macedonia, out Cleveland type area out that way. And then Columbus and further south in Ohio.
Okay. Yeah.
It's me, all me up here.
Very interesting. I had to Google it, just once I heard about it. And I saw it was in Utah and I think Colorado too.
They started in Colorado Springs. So yes, there's probably about 150, maybe 151 open by now. I think they opened their first franchise store March 2020.
Oh, okay.
Literally the week everything shut down.
Yeah, I was going to say that's pandemic era. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
A friend of mine who is a pharmacist in Las Vegas said that these hydration centers are popping up all over Las Vegas. And I just thought, wow, that's really interesting because she saw it before I did.
Yeah. So kind of what sets us apart, though, we do follow the highest standards of the 797 compliance of the pharmacopoeia, that kind of thing. So we prepare everything under that hood and everything back there. So that's kind of, I don't think a lot of them they're not regulated as far as that yet, but we'll be there when they do start regulating.
Yes, I know that the laws are very strict with, I know you're not compounding per se.
Correct.
But you have to follow the USP guidelines. Yeah, that's what we call it. You said the U.S. pharmacopoeia, but we just call it USP.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Shannon, can you tell me what's the new client experience like here at Prime IV Hydration and Wellness?
Well, the new client experience is all about the 1 hour vacation here at Prime IV. So we are in a spa setting, and that's what we like to, as soon as they walk in that door, they're going to get that relaxed feeling until they leave, basically. So, we stand up, we greet the clients as they walk in. We offer them our flavored water we have out there. So, we want them hydrated and everything. So, and then going forward, we have them fill out their medical intake form if they haven't already. And then we bring them in to the consult room here, private consults, get down to the nitty gritty, really finding out what their health and wellness ailments are and their goals. They can put, a multiple down. And then we just start aiming to recommend the drips and additives, really what they want to concentrate on here today. What brought them in today, that's what we're going to gear the drip towards. And then anything else they may need, like vitamin D. Everyone's pretty much short on vitamin D. And then once they do that, they'll start the IV in here. So it's nice and private. So if you got that fear of needles or you may pass out, it's all in here. So, and then we'll take them. New clients always get our VIP treatment, which is bringing them back to our member room, which we have these awesome massage pods. And then they also get oxygen back there as well. And then it takes about an hour for that drip to really...
Gravity's got to do its thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
To finish and everything. And then once they get out, we bring them back into one of the rooms, take the catheter out. And we also then, I think after that, we go over the memberships and stuff. So if they want to come back, keep getting that VIP experience, we offer the membership. So it's a much cheaper way to go. And then we, check them out and all that stuff. And hopefully we get an return appointment scheduled and all that.
Very good. It sounds like for the first appointment ever, they get the VIP treatment. They get treated like a member.
Yes.
But if they just say come back quarterly and they don't get the membership, do they get the massage chair and all that?
They do not. You could pay extra for it, but that's the benefit of being a member. So yeah, we'll cater to you. We're not going to treat you like, non-member or whatever, but yeah. We'll give you a blanket if you're cold. So. Okay. You'll slum it in our other recliners out there. So,
well, it looks very comfortable no matter where you're at, but massage chairs are fun. Every time I get a pedicure, it's just fun to play with the buttons. I don't know if you have buttons to play with on your massage chairs. Do you?
Oh, we've got you. You need to go try one. Okay. Yes, because it is not like the pedicure ones.
Oh, is it an even
it's a screen.
better console?
It's a big screen.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like an iPad, little iPad.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I have not been in the chair yet. I've gotten the tour, but I have not been in the chair. Yes. Thanks for the offer. I might have to take you up on that. All right. I understand the new client experience and the return visit. So you have the member experience with the return visit, or you have the a la carte experience if you come back for a return visit and you're not a member.
Yeah.
That's easy enough to know. Yeah. And then how about payment? How much does it cost for that first treatment?
So it depends what they get. We've got drips that range from $99 all the way to $180. So, our $99 primary drips is what we call them. They come with one nutrient in them. So it's really just for hydration. Maybe one's got B12 in it for that little energy boost, that kind of thing. We also have drips that have about 4 to 6 nutrients. They're about $150. It's more bang for your buck. And then we've got 6 to 8 nutrients in our higher end, and those cost about $180. So you're really getting the most you can out of those. So it's coming in for the one drip. I mean, if you're just dehydrated, that's fine, or, for the one nutrient. But for you to spend the money, an extra $50 or whatever, just, you might as well get more for your money.
When you have more in the bag, it costs more money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Easy enough to understand.
It's all beneficial, though.
I was just thinking, as you add more minerals or additives, I'm thinking about maybe there's somebody that this wouldn't be right for. Do you ever turn somebody away, maybe during the history and physical, there's something in their health history that just doesn't jive and you have to turn them away?
Yeah, there's some indications. more like kidney issues. And Chelsea, my RN, will be able to answer more in depth on that stuff. So it just depends. And if we do question stuff, we'll go to our medical director, do a telehealth appointment and everything. Or we ask them, if we know before they get here, get a note from your doctor, bring it in.
That's a really good point. Having that collaboration with a doctor, if you know that you're experiencing a long-term vitamin deficiency, then you can plan ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get Chelsea in here in just a little bit. We're in one of the treatment rooms right now, and it's Shannon, Chelsea, and me. Shannon, before we get Chelsea in the hot seat here to answer some questions, I understand you have two basic things here. You have the IV drips and you have the intramuscular injections. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And I believe that you mentioned that you have the gravity-based IV drip. You don't have IV pumps, right?
We have syringe pumps for each nutrient that we do. Yeah.
But to get a 1 liter bag into somebody's arm, do you have a pump that you regulate so that it's, like 1 liter within 60 minutes? Nope, it just takes as long as it takes then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like the usual is 60 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It could it could differ a little bit, just, depending on that size of catheter that they get in them as well. So the smaller is probably might take a little longer. So, but average, if they get just our average catheter, it's probably going to take anywhere from 50 to 60 minutes. Yes.
Okay. And all the drips are a 1 liter bag. Is that correct?
Yes. And unless they're requesting, a smaller one, they just want the nutrients. Let's just get it in and out kind of thing. So, yeah.
Okay. I think people like to know, how long am I going to spend doing this? Because when you go to an emergency room after you've had the flu and you need a liter or two to get you back up and running, you might be there for 5 or 6 hours waiting to be seen or to, get treatment, right?
Yeah.
But if you come in here and you go through the history and physical, you get hooked up to the drip, within, maybe half an hour, you're getting the drip and you're done within 90 minutes after that first appointment, I'm guessing. Is that right?
So, the consult, all that, just getting your catheter in, all that. Yeah. Plan on an hour and a half roughly for your first visit.
Good to know. Really good. All right. And the IM shots, so the intramuscular injections, maybe somebody's got a vitamin B12 deficiency. They come to you to get their shot. How long can they expect to spend in the office as a new client?
As a new client, maybe a good 20 minutes, as long as they've got their medical intake form. If you've got that filled out before you get here, that's about 10, 15 minutes you could save. The nurses kind of, can review it before they get here. If you've got to fill that out when you're here, that's, kind of another 10 minutes. But that first visit, they'll take all their vitals, everything. And then, the injection itself is like 5 minutes, a couple minutes.
Yeah, you're in and out pretty quick with a intramuscular injection. Can you tell me, where do people usually get the injection?
Either their shoulder or their glute.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. And Chelsea in the room is affirming that. Yes, that is correct. All right. Thank you. At this time, Shannon, thank you so much for answering my questions. I'll bring you back in for the wrap up at the end. We're going to have Chelsea get in the hot seat now. At this time, we've got Chelsea in the hot seat here. Thank you so much for joining us. Chelsea, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, sure. My name's Chelsea, and I have worked with Prime IV since opening. So actually before opening, I found the job on Indeed, and I have always kind of wanted to do like infusion therapy. I've been very interested in like more of a holistic approach as far as with medical, I guess you would say. So I applied on Indeed, and I was hired in about July. And so I helped open the place, get everything kind of organized, set up. And and now I am in the lead nurse role here at Prime IV.
Very nice. It's nice to talk to another medical professional here on the Perrysburg podcast. This is kind of a rarity for me. It's usually, residents and business owners. So It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about some of the drips available here at Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. I really like that you have a whole board, like a menu almost like at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not necessarily going to single out the exact person that this is for, but in broad terms, we're going to talk about the type of person that would benefit from this and how they would benefit. So let's start with what Shannon has told me is the number one drip here It is called the Myers cocktail. What can you tell me about that?
Yes. So our Myers cocktail is our most popular drip. It is great for so many things. It was created by Dr. Meyer. So this drip can really improve symptoms of illness for arthritis, allergies, GI, malabsorption diseases, depression, chronic fatigue. It's good for, migraines. We do have like kind of like a variety. So there's the Myers cocktail and then there's the Myers migraine. So people who suffer from migraines, they would just need to get like a okay from their doctor. And then we could add certain things into the drip plus all the other additives that are in there.
So there's the Myers cocktail and the Myers migraine?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice because, again, like you stated earlier with Shannon, going into an ER, you never know how long you're going to be there. I mean, you could end up being there for 5-6 hours.
Especially during flu season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have this option, if you just want something in and out quick, but we would need that like okay from your doctor or that note from your doctor.
Okay, good to know. Even though this is the number one cocktail here, somebody who's brand new here doesn't know about this. So how do they find out that this is the one that they want?
When we look through their medical intake, that is kind of how nurses decide, what we're going to recommend to that client. If I see someone on their intake say that they suffer from, arthritis or joint pain, our Myers cocktail, comes with magnesium. So that is a natural anti-inflammatory. So that is something that I'm going to take into consideration. I'm going to think of all the drips that have magnesium in them. And then, say that they are also complaining of chronic fatigue. The Myers is just good for all of those things. General health and wellness, really. It's honestly, most people would benefit from the Myers cocktail.
It sounds like the nurse on staff recommends the IV drip unless they're a member and a returning client,
Correct.
Right?
Yes. Unless they know exactly what they want. Like you stated, if they've been here a few times and they're like, yeah, this is the drip that I get every time I'm here.
Like a refill.
Yep. Right. We will definitely take our time and look over that medical intake before they get here. So that is kind of why, too, we do recommend having them fill out that medical form before their appointment, just because that gives us more time to look it over and, see what kind of medications they may be taking, any contraindications for the IV infusion.
All right. See, I'm getting to understand the process a little bit. And I'm a curious person. I'm a medical person. And there may be some listeners who are thinking, well, this might be right for me, but I don't know which drip I need.
Exactly.
And you just answered a big question during that history and physical and meeting the nurse. That's when you two, the patient and the nurse, come to an agreement. And then you make sure everything's safe.
Yes.
And then you move forward and you get them set up in that nice, cozy massage chair.
Exactly. And then they're in, their 1 hour vacation and they are so relaxed after. So it's nice.
Awesome. Now, when I first heard about this place, when I first met Shannon on Louisiana Avenue, right after the homecoming parade there at the homecoming festival, I walked up to her and I said, so what is this place? And she was saying it's IV hydration. And as a pharmacist, I automatically thought about all those people that need IV hydration for hangovers.
Yeah. So, I think when we first opened, that was more than just your thoughts as well when you hear about this place, right? Like a lot of people are like, oh, so you're just like a hangover drip place. And it's like, no, we're much more than that. But we do have a couple drips that cater to the hangover. So we do have one. It's called the After Party. And then our other drip is the Resurrection. And I would recommend the Resurrection just because it has a little bit more in it. It's one of our tier 2s. So that's one of our higher drips, the one that has like 6 to 8 nutrients. It has like glutathione and acetylcysteine in the drip, and both of those are really good for liver detoxification. So, and they kind of help each other. So the Resurrection is definitely the go-to if you're feeling a little under the weather from overindulging the night before.
Well said. Now, you probably have a personal story that you could share too. Have you ever had a client come in here? Again, don't name names, but have you ever had a client come in and they need the resurrection drip?
Yes. Actually, one client stands out, like Shannon said earlier. It was a gentleman. He came in, it was like a Sunday morning, and he was like, I am severely hungover. What can you do for me? How long is this going to take? And I am like, oh my gosh, like it takes about, an hour and 20 minutes. We will need you to fill out the medical intake form. And he was like, well, I have my 15-year-old in the car with me, so I'm going to have to drop him off, but I'll be back. And I'm like, this guy's probably not going to come back. He's just probably going to go home, take a nap, sleep it off. But he did come back, and he ended up doing the resurrection, and he felt amazing coming out of that VIP room. He was like, this is exactly what I needed. This is amazing. Like, I didn't realize I could feel this good after a night of drinking heavily like I did. So it was funny, but it was also like, wow, we did, we helped him out. So
yes, you rescued him from a very rotten day.
We did. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that personal story. Like I was talking to Shannon about earlier, when you can show that transformation, that means something to somebody listening to this who someday may need you.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. And we have seen so many people come in here and just fall in love, and they're like, this actually really does help me. And it's amazing to see.
Well, thank you for the important work that you're doing here.
Yeah,
I know that some people may say that hangovers are a bad choice. They're your punishment for making bad choices. But hey, if there is a rescue method, let's get the information out there.
Exactly. Everybody's allowed to have fun, right?
Yes. Chelsea, I know that around Northwest Ohio, we have a lot of athletes. We have the Toledo Roadrunners Club. There's, people that do triathlons locally, sprint triathlons. They travel to do full triathlons. There are people that do adventure races. I know I did the Maumee Valley Tri-Adventure Race once upon a time. That was kayak, bike, hike, and it was 50 miles in one day. It took me 8 hours. For people that are strong athletes and they want to do these long races and things, or, they've got some Forrest Gump in them, what do you have for them?
So we do have a couple different drips for our athletes. Our goal with these drips is there's kind of one for, before the workout or before the
adventure race or whatever.
Exactly. Our marathon or whatever they are partaking in. And that is our champion. And this drip is just great for increasing endurance and performance before that event. Yeah.
How many days before that event?
24 to 48 hours before. You don't want to do it too close to the event. You don't want to do it too far out. So 24 to 48 hours before the event is typically what we will tell our clients.
Okay. What's that one called again?
That one is the champion.
The champion, 24 to 48 hours prior to the event.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. Sounds like a good prescription there.
Yeah.
And then how about after the event?
So after, we have one called the Weekend Warrior, and this one is similar to the champion, but it is great for decreasing that recovery time post-workout, and it increases lean muscle mass. Really, either one, would be great for before, but this one it's nice for afterwards because of the ingredients that are in there. It does help with that recovery
right?
time. Yep, that recovery period.
Yeah, that's a good contrast, the before and the after. But in a pinch, if one's more expensive than the other, then you could consider one rather than the other. What's the price difference with those?
So, the Weekend Warrior is one of our tier 1 drips, and that is the $150. And then our champion is our tier 2, so that's $180.
Oh, okay. There is a price difference.
There is, yes. So the champion does come with more additives. It has 6 to 8 nutrients and vitamins in the drip, plus that liter of fluid. And then the Weekend Warrior has 4 to 6.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great topic for these athletes around Northwest Ohio.
And there's a lot of them.
Yes. Now let's talk about something that's the opposite of health. What about when people get sick? I know right now it's January. It's cold and flu season.
Yes.
So tell me, what do you have for people who are sick?
So I would say our second most popular especially right now, drip, is our immunity armor. So that is the one that we recommend for anyone who is feeling under the weather, and if they are sick as well. We also tell people, like, even if you're starting to feel sick, or if your kids are sick, or your husband or spouse is sick, come in and get that immunity armor, because that can help lessen the chances of you getting sick. So yeah, our immunity armor, it has glutathione and high dose vitamin C, a blend of antioxidants, and it's proven to prevent, shorten, and reduce the severity of like colds, flu, and viruses.
Does it have zinc in there too?
We do have a Tri-Immune. It's not a drip, it's an IM injection only, because here in Ohio, we cannot give zinc through the IV.
Oh, okay.
So the Tri-Immune does have zinc in it, and it does come with the immunity armor, but it is given it intramuscularly. So, and that's after the drip, yes.
Oh, okay. You get the drip followed by the IM injection.
Correct, yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So some of our drips do come with IM injections, like, included with them.
Okay, it's like a combo.
Yeah.
Again, back to the restaurant analogy.
Yeah,
it's like having a menu.
It's cool though, the drip menu. I think it entices people. They're like, oh, that's interesting,
Yeah, well, and it makes it very plain that there are things on this menu. There's more than one thing, and you need to pick the right one for yourself.
Yep, and we can also tailor drips to people as well. So, we do have something, basically, we can customize the drip for them. And that's $180, but they get to choose that. They get to choose what goes into their drip. That's always an option too. A lot of people don't choose that necessarily. They might just add things that they feel that they need to one of our drips that's on our menu. But that is an option.
I would think that would not be the initial drip that one
Correct.
gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once people get more comfortable and come in a few times and kind of learn more about our menu and more about their
response.
Exactly. Then they kind of substitute things out, or they'll add extra things to their drip because they know what they need.
Very interesting. I have to ask, I know that I'm a mom. I don't know if you're a mom, are you?
I am a mom. I have 4 children.
Okay. Much respect to you. For the moms out there, we take care of everybody else first.
Yes, we do.
And we often get sick last.
That is correct, yes.
Unfortunately. And I kind of laugh because, as a mom, that has been my experience. So my question to you is, when people come in for these immunity drips, are they allowed to come in when they have a fever?
If they do have a fever, we prefer them to wear a mask. There is a little bit of a contraindication. If your fever is too high, obviously we're going to tell you this might not be what you need. Might be better to go to like an urgent care or the emergency room. But yes, if you have like a low-grade fever, you are still welcome to come in here. We will typically let those clients stay in one of the consultation rooms though, because we don't want to spread the germs and the sickness into like our member room or even our non-member area. So we will keep them isolated in one of our consultation rooms.
Yeah, it's like social distancing, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
And we have TVs in our consultation room so they can, in the recliners, so they could still relax and, watch TV. And unfortunately, they don't get that massage. But once they're feeling better, we encourage them to come back to try it out.
Chelsea, when I was coming back from a trip overseas in May, I got the norovirus. Yeah, I didn't know I had it for 2 days. My son had it on the plane for 9 hours. Poor kid. He had no idea he had it until they lifted off.
That's terrible.
It turned his stomach, and then he realized he was sick. And he was dehydrated from vomiting and diarrhea. Derek, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm throwing you under the bus, kid. But after I took care of him, I had it 2 days later, but I am sure I had contracted it when I was on my trip.
Yep.
It was awful. And if I had known about a place like this, it was May, so you guys weren't open. But if I had known about a place like this, I might have come in.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there's another reason that I would have come in. I had to have a colonoscopy because I'm 46. When you're 45, you're supposed to have a colonoscopy with certain family history and risk factors. I was so dehydrated from the 1 liter of Go Lightly or whatever it was that I had to drink that they could not find a vein in my elbow region. So they had to go to my forearm. It was awful. I am a blood donor. I have great veins, but I was so dehydrated.
Yeah.
Once I found out about this place, I told myself, next time I need to have a colonoscopy, I would like to do business with this place. Tell me, Chelsea, would I get the drip beforehand so that I'm not so dehydrated? I mean, like, how can I prophylactically avoid the negative needle stick consequences that I experienced from being so dehydrated?
Yeah, I would say that you could come in here, and even if you don't want to have a bunch of additives before the colonoscopy, because I know that there are some stipulations where, you can't eat or drink after you do take the Colate or everything.
Go lightly.
Go lightly, yeah.
Polyethylene glycol 3350.
Yeah, and I know it just kind of takes everything right out of you.
Oh, it's awful.
But I would say, yeah, I think coming in here and just even getting a liter of fluid and maybe, one additive like our primary drips would be beneficial, because then you wouldn't be as hard of a stick. You're not going to, your veins will be nice and plump for the procedure. So
I'm going to try it next time.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it because it was awful. I felt so dehydrated. My tongue felt like it was stuck in the back of my throat, all the things. So, yep, I would like to try that next time. I just wanted to throw that out there. So if anybody listening to this has a colonoscopy planned, talk to your gastroenterologist or whoever's doing your procedure. Ask if going to Prime IV Hydration and Wellness might be right for you. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going down the list. We have talked about the Myers cocktail, the Resurrection drip, the Champion, the Immunity Armor, plus the IM injection as a bonus. Next, let's talk about the Summit. Okay, I heard about this one, and it made me think of the movie Everest. Why would the Summit make me think of the movie Everest?
Because it is for altitude sickness. So this drip is great for combating those symptoms if you are getting ready to hop on a plane and go on a vacation. Like I said, it can combat that altitude sickness, including headaches, that dizziness, shortness of breath, and fatigue. This is good for before and after your trip. We also have another one. It's called the Jet Setter, and this is actually more beneficial for after your trip because it relieves the symptoms of that jet lag and it boosts your energy and, it strengthens our immune system in case you were kind of on the verge of getting sick from coming back from vacation as well. So we do have both of those.
Okay, so the Summit is more like for altitude-related illness.
So I would say that one's probably better or more beneficial for before your trip.
Okay. Good to know. And then you said the Jet Setter is more like for jet lag, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said the jet lag one, the Jet Setter is good for before or after?
I said the Summit was you could do before or after, but then that made me think of, the Jet Setter, which is more for the after effects of getting, trying to get back on the time, like specific time if you were somewhere that time was different, things like that.
The trip where I contracted the norovirus, I was in Germany, and it was, I believe, a 9-hour flight getting back from that. There was a little jet lag involved, I'm not going to lie.
For sure, yes.
Yeah, if it lasted 4 days, then, of course, Prime IV Hydration and Wellness will come to mind for me.
Yes.
I don't know when I'll do that type of a trip again, but it's good to have options. We're getting the word out there. All right, and the last one on my list has to do with our health-conscious folks who are trying to maybe lose some weight. So tell me, what is the name of this drip?
So we have a drip that we offer. It is called the Skinny Drip, and this is a very popular drip as well. It enhances your diet and fitness goals by speeding up metabolism. It also increases your energy while decreasing your appetite. And it does come with, I want to say, that it does come with a lipoline injection as well. So our lipoline injections are good for fat burning. It's a mix of vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that aid our body in weight loss efforts, and it enhances energy levels and it accelerates our metabolism.
Okay. There may be a couple of people listening to this thinking, is this one of those semaglutide things or tirzepatide? Can you debunk that myth real quick?
No, it is not. So peptides are completely different from lipoline or the Skinny Drip. They do not actively cause you to lose weight. It's just more of a boost, I guess, in that metabolism and your energy levels. It can aid in losing weight, but you have to do other things with it as well, like, healthy diet, maybe workout. Peptides are, like I said, that's a totally different animal. So
Good. I think sometimes when people hear stuff like that, their mind goes there. And I just like to kind of nip that in the bud so that people don't think that this is semaglutide or
Right.
tirzepatide. It's not.
No, it is not. It is totally, like I said, it's a totally different animal.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
As we start to wrap up about the drips, can you tell me, is there anything that I left out that you think that the people of Perrysburg should know about Prime IV hydration and wellness that we didn't already cover?
I think the biggest thing is just knowing that we are so much more than just, a hangover cure. We offer so much for so many different people. Anything that you're looking for, we can pretty much help you here. And especially if you are more holistic and going down that route, I think this place is a fantastic way to start your health journey or continue your health journey. I have learned so much just in the 5 months that I've been working here. And like I said, we do offer much, much more than what I think people even realize.
I see this place as possibly being an accountability partner for somebody who has health goals. Like every single month, you're coming in for a health check-in. You're getting your IV or you're getting your injection. And sometimes people need that reminder, like, I have scheduled this time for me to focus on me. How am I doing? So I just wanted to throw that out there. Sometimes people need that focus, that motivation, focus on hydration, focus on health, and be good to yourself.
And it is that time, it's your time, it's your self-care. And I think people lose that sometimes as well. We need to take care of ourselves. I know, like you said earlier, as moms even, and dads, we are always taking care of everyone before ourselves.
Thanks, Chelsea, for all that information. We've got Shannon back on the mic now to talk about the IM injections, intramuscular injections. The two that I really wanted to focus on are the methocobalamin, vitamin B12, and the vitamin D. What can you tell me about those injections?
Vitamin D. So that is your sunshine vitamin. And here in Toledo, we know we lack sunshine in these winter months. So everyone's kind of depleted of their vitamin D. They're not getting enough sun. Everyone wears sunscreen as well too, which is obviously good for you. But the vitamin D also helps fight diseases and everything, and helps your immune system, and also helps with depression and all that, and supports weight loss efforts. So everyone needs their vitamin D regardless. So it's not just about getting, sun or whatever. The vitamin B12. So that gives you energy. It can enhance like the heart health and everything. Let's see, improves your mood, promotes healthy skin, your nails, hair, bone health, and benefits the nerve health. So everyone is in need of energy. It gives you that extra boost. You're going to get kind of like an immediate almost effect when you get it IM or IV. You can do either with that one. And I don't know, that's really about it. What covers B12. So
that's all right. I just want people to know that you can get your IM injections here. Sometimes people are supposed to get those because they, go to a nurse practitioner or a doctor's office and they can't always get their appointment when they need it.
Yep.
So this is an alternative.
Yes,
yep.
Absolutely.
And how much do you charge for the IM injections?
They'll range from $30 to $35. It just depends. I think those two might be $35 each. So, yep. But we also sell packages, which make them cheaper. So, yeah.
Shannon, as we start to wrap this up, I have a question for you about cost. Mm-hmm. This is an a la carte place. This is not covered by medical insurance, correct?
Correct. But, however, if you've got an HSA account, you can use that. So we've got a lot of people that do that.
Good to know.
Yes, it is supported.
All right. I hadn't even thought of that. Mm-hmm. So you're helping me with all these questions I didn't even ask. Yep. This is great. Is there anything else that you think that my listeners should know about Prime IV hydration and wellness other than that you have drips and IM injections?
So we do have a weight loss program here, so we have started doing the peptide therapy. If you haven't heard of that yet, I don't want to say it's that one celebrity type, injections.
Semaglutide?
Yes, semaglutide, tirzepatide, the GLP-1 injections.
You do not have those.
We do have those. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we do have those. We've got quite a few clients on those right now. They're seeing great results, minimal side effects and everything. And we help guide people through, the weight loss journey. So with, the workout programs, seeing a nutritionist and that kind of thing. So just making sure you're getting enough protein while you're while you're losing weight and everything. So, and keeping your muscle retention and everything.
I got to stop you for just a second because I have a question. I was talking to Chelsea. We were talking about how the skinny drip is not semaglutide. It is not tirzepatide.
No.
But what you're talking about, is it an orally administered item or is it an injection?
Yes, it's an injection. Usually just do it right in your abdomen, stomach area.
Subcutaneous injection, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had no idea that you had that. Now, how are you able to do that? Do you have a medical director that prescribes it?
Yes, they
you
are
have a standing
prescribed.
order?
So, the client goes through some preliminary questions to make sure they are fit to be on it. And then once they come in for their consultation, it will be with the medical director. So, he'll ask his questions, all that kind of stuff, just going over the health history and everything. And he will prescribe it then.
Is it telehealth?
It is, yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So
I had no idea you did that. This is a great bonus conversation.
Yes. So, we just started.
Now, how does somebody find out about pricing and availability for that weight loss program?
More or less calling us, coming in. We don't have it really blasted on our website or anything.
Is there anything you'd like to say about the availability or the pricing here on the podcast?
Yeah. So if you're an IV member, because we are member-based here as well, it is a discounted rate for, signing up for peptides, the weight loss. So the semaglutide, if you're a member, will start at $2.99 a month. And then tirzepatide will start at $4.50 a month. We also carry Somorelin, which is more after you've lost your weight, you want to build back that lean muscle. So that helps with that. So I've got a couple clients on that, so I'm really curious how it's going to work. They just started.
What a great time of the year to be talking about that, because a lot of people focus on their health after the holidays.
Yes.
They get that break from work and sometimes all the stresses of life, and they start focusing on themselves, and health and weight loss sometimes is at the top of the list.
Yes.
So thank you so much for mentioning that. Anything else about that before we move on?
No.
Okay, very good. I know I've taken up a lot of your time today. I really appreciate it. Do you have any special offers at this time that you'd like to share with my podcast listeners?
We do have our injection packs on sale right now, roughly saving about $50 for 8-pack. And a 12-pack of injections just to help you get that lipoline injection that comes with the skinny drip, to get your extra ones to help you start losing that weight too if you're just going that route. And then vitamin D, of course. So,
Great time of the year to get some vitamin D.
Yes.
Yes, the sunshine is not plentiful in Northwest Ohio right now.
Yes, exactly. And our skinny drip is actually on sale this month through the 31st for $125.
And to find out more about special offers coming up in the future, if somebody finds this a year from now, how do they find out more about special offers or just your business in general?
Yeah, Facebook. We've got our Facebook page, Prime IV Hydration and Wellness, Perrysburg, and our Prime IV Perrysburg Instagram page. So we're usually posting quite a bit of stuff on there, But that's where I put all my specials out, and everything. So
advertising's important. Just like with this podcast episode, it's an opportunity to educate Perrysburg about what's available here. Social media is a great opportunity to educate Perrysburg as well. And we already talked about entry points, but if you had to pick one entry point for a brand new client, what would that be?
Probably give us a call. We will, be happy to help you. You can actually text or email. We've got the CRM. We'll answer. I'm usually on that thing 24/7. So I have it on my phone. You can get a hold of me whenever. So
awesome. And what's your phone number?
419-614-6343.
Thanks for the phone number. Thank you so much for spending so much time. And thanks to Chelsea too. She did a great job. Good luck to you and Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks again to Shannon and Chelsea from Prime IV for being my guests on episode 78 of the Perrysburg podcast. My curiosity about Prime IV is now satisfied, and I actually really sincerely do plan to become a client at some point. I felt very comfortable there, and I look forward to experiencing that VIP treatment for my first drip. I hope you enjoyed hearing about what's on the menu at Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. If you're interested in becoming a client, give them a call or stop by or check out the website or visit their social media. I'm sure they'd be happy to help you out. Thanks so much for listening to episode 78 of the Perrysburg podcast. This was part 1 of 4 in my medical series. Please visit perrysburgpodcast.com to read the show notes. In the show notes, you will find links to the website for Prime IV Hydration and Wellness, their social media channels, their address and phone number, and more. If you would like to be notified by email each time a new episode of the Perrysburg podcast comes out, sign up for the newsletter on perrysburgpodcast.com. You can also subscribe to or follow the podcast on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. I publish a new one every Friday. Go ahead and share this episode with any of your fellow Perrysburg residents or potential Perrysburg residents or, anybody outside the area that might like to come to town and have a spa hydration experience. Thank you so much for listening today, and I'll talk to you next week.